Hi, it's Rick. I'm back for Pajama Crafter Stamps today. Are you ready to get started on a fun project? We are going to be coloring up the Lovely Bouquet stamp set, and I've already stamped that out on alcohol marker friendly paper with alcohol marker friendly ink. I'm going to be using my Ohuhu markers today. You can use whatever alcohol markers you have. I'm going to be coloring this up with two different color roses. I'm going to do a coral color and I'm going to do a red color. I'm starting out by coloring my coral color first, and for that my color combination is Y5, which I'm putting in the darkest color, in my shadow areas, and then I'm going to come in and blend that out with my RO70, and I'm just come over that slightly and blend that out, and then I'm going to blend that out with my YO90, which is my mid-tone color for everything. I did forget that one petal, so I had to go back and fix that. So this is the YO90. It's more of that corally orangey shade. That's going to bring that to the more of the coral tones. And I'm going to blend that out with my lightest tone, which is the YO70. And while we are coloring up, I'm going to go ahead and mention that the Pajama Crafter Stamps is doing a 30-day coloring challenge that started the 1st of June. You can still jump in on that. It's 5 minutes a day. Joy, the owner, is hosting this. She wants to promote the relaxation of coloring, since her thing is coloring, so I can relate to that. So she's promoting that. It's her little baby. You can find all the information on that on the blog, I believe. But there's also a free coloring book on the website. It's under the digital section. I will try to remember to link to that. That you can print off on your favorite coloring paper and take 5 minutes a day and color along. She's been popping in on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube in different ways, sharing coloring each day. There's also a resource binder that you can purchase that has all kinds of different resources and Copic coloring combinations and things like that in it. You can check that out on the website. It's $49.99, and then there's some swatch sheets you can buy to do your color swatches if you need more. I think those are like $3.99 on the website that you can purchase, and they send to you. You can find all that information on the website. But I'm going to finish up coloring my roses right here. I've done that same combination, except I took and added in a red to make this a red rose instead of a coral rose. I'm going to do that same color combination on the rose at the bottom, and it's R2, Y5, R070, and YRO90. So I'm going to finish that rose up. Now I'm going to come in and color this front-facing rose. And I'm starting out with my R2 in my shadow areas. And then we're going to blend that out with the Y5. And then I'm going to come in and add my mid-tone, which is my RO70. And my highlight color is the YO90. It's amazing how you can take one color away and add the additional color of either a darker or lighter and change the look of a color combination. So always remember that. It's only one step you can change either way, and you can change up whatever color combination you have. So never forget how easy it is to change up those color combinations if you don't like something, which you're going to see shortly when I grab the wrong color. When we get to the leaves. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up my roses here. This is my red-orange rose. And see, I was so glad I didn't drop that onto my coloring. It just hit this paper. So again, I'm coming in with my mid-tone here. That's the RO70. And then my highlight is the YO90. We're going to do the center a little different because it's going to be more compacted and it's a little darker. So I put in that R2, and I'm only going to use the Y5 for the most part. I'm mapping out everything in that center with my R2. Remember, anywhere that a petal overlaps another petal is going to be a shadow underneath. So you've got to make sure you have your shadows in there, and you've got to make sure when you're coloring that you go darker than you think you want. You've got to have that touch of darkness in your coloring to make it look realistic. So don't be afraid of your darks. I know a lot of people are. Don't be afraid of them. Everything can be changed up. Especially with alcohol markers, you can go over it with a lighter color and it lightens up that color that was there previously. So just remember that. Fear is your worst enemy. Don't be afraid. Just try. If you don't like it, it's only paper. You can change it. So we're going to finish coloring up this rose, add in our extra little highlights right there. I've colored the rest of them off screen. Now we're going to do our leaves, and this is where I pulled in the wrong color. I pulled in G5, and I wasn't supposed to use that, and I realized it after I started coloring with it. So I switched that out real fast. But here we go. So I switched that out. So my color combination for my leaves is BG8, BG5, and G360. So I'm coming now with that BG5. That was my mid-tone color. And I'm adding in my highlight, which is the G360. So I'm going to do that for all of my bigger leaves. And I like to come in and put it in the shadow areas first, down the center, and anywhere that the lines would segment, you would have a little shadow. So I've done that, and I'm blending over that slightly with my BG5. And then I'm going to come in and add my highlights with my G360. So I'm just going to, I like to flick my highlights in towards the center so I get a little bit better look. I've changed that color combination up for the other leaves to make it a little bit more darker blue. I've added in BG2, BG8, and BG5. I took out the lightest color. BG5 is now my lightest color for my highlights on these leaves. So I'm going to color all those up. This color combination gives me a little bit more of a darker blue-green, like these leaves are back in shadow. So that's why I switched this up. I wanted them to be pushed back a little bit more than what the first set of leaves were. So I'm going to now do my little flowers, and I'm using RO70, YRO90, and YRO70. And I'm using for the small flowers, I'm using the pointillism technique, or the, now I can't think of what the other, what it's called. Basically, you're just dabbing in the color with the point of your marker, letting those blend out. So for the rosebud, I'm using R2, Y5, and RO70. I've put in that R2 first, and I blended that out with the Y5, and then I blended that out with the RO70. Now, for my berries, I decided to make them blueberries, so I'm using PB11 as my darkest color, B290 as my next darkest color, B270 as my mid-tone, and B260 as my highlight. So I'm coming in now with my PB11, which is my darkest color. These are more of a muted blue color, but I thought they were perfect for the blueberries. You will see the same color combination next week on a card. Just a little teaser there. So I'm coming in now with the BO70 and blending that out. Or the BO90, I'm sorry. I was right. BO70. There's my highlights, the B60. I got sidetracked. Now I'm going to cut all these out by fussy cutting, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment, or the rest of my sentiment, onto my little scrap piece of paper here. I'm going to mask off the I love part of the sentiment, and I'm only going to stamp down the U. And I'm going to trim that out into a small little banner. And then I'm going to attach the ink blended panel that I've done off camera onto a matte layer of black cardstock. And I'm just going to attach that down, and then I'm going to be able to attach that to my card base, which is a standard A2 size card. I'm using my Barely Art glue. You can pick that up in the Pajama Crafter stamp store. And now I'm going to attach my hot foil sentiment that I had made earlier off screen. If you want to see how to do that, you can check out the video on my channel that'll go up tomorrow on Thursday. And I'm going to cut I'm going to split my floral bouquet. So I'm going to put half of it on one side of the card to have it coming in from the right. And then I'm going to trim that off, and I'm going to take the part I trimmed off nice and straight. I'm going to add that to the left part of the card at the bottom to create part of my triangular arrangement on my card. I've added foam tape behind my little sentiment strip here, and I'm going to cut a little fishtail banner with my snips. Peel that off, and I'm going to take a T-square ruler and line that up nice and straight onto the card. And we are going to add our additional colored flowers with some foam tape. I've got 2 roses that I cut colored in each color combination, and I'm putting them slightly on different where the other colors are. I put the red one at the top, put the orange coral one at the bottom. I'm going to add some leaves behind each one of those to finish off my triangular floral arrangement. And then I'm going to come in with my white gel pen and add some highlight details to each of the petals of the flower and the rose, the rose, cabbage roses, and the leaves and everything. And I'm going to add just a little bit of shimmer with a glitter pen. And that finishes off the card after we add all of our little glitter to make it nice and shiny. You could totally added some rhinestones from Pajama Crafter Stamps if you wanted to. I couldn't find the color that I wanted to use today, so I just decided to use just simple glitter pen for that. And then there's my card, and here's a closer look at the card. If you like this video, you're probably going to like this one coming up next, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.